This video is for Vanessa about your three theories or propositions. Biocentrism. That is very. I haven't had a chance to really, read up on a lot of his theories, but I get the main concept of it, okay? And here's the thing. We do create our own reality. As observers, okay, everything is in a wave. Everything is in a state of probabilities. It's a wave function. And what that means is it doesn't exist in one probable state at one time. It's fluctuating. It exists in multiple possible states, okay? So any particle that we observe on a quantum level, the observer being us or an apparatus or an object that we place to observe the particle collapses the wave function, which is the state of probabilities for that particle, and brings it into being. So, literally, we are creators of our own reality. We can't just necessarily look at something and change it right before our eyes. But maybe in a way we can, and maybe that is what's playing into the Mandela effect. Maybe we are doing that. Those of us who believe we're changing our realities, we're changing our own realities, okay, through thoughts. Because if you concentrate on one thing, a focal point, you concentrate on that one thing, let's say it's money or a new car. It's not very complicated here, okay? If I walk outside and I'm thinking about money all the time, that is what my perspective on reality is going to be, money. If I'm thinking about women, it's going to be women. If I'm thinking about cars, I'm going to see cars, right? And when I start to see those things, I'm going to come into contact with those things more because I'm going to be looking for them. So your perspective changes. So even without the quantum level, we do create our own reality every day. You focusing your mental energy on something is going to attract things of that sort. So as part of biocentrism, I strongly believe in that, and it's not just a belief, it's proven in physics, okay? We literally create our own reality. We observe something and we collapse its wave function, which is the state of probabilities that it exists in, a quantum fluctuation, and we bring it into being. It's kind of like Schrodinger's cat. That cat, before it is observed, see, a lot of people might not understand this, but they say, how can it exist? How can it be dead and alive in the box? If there's a vial of poison and some uranium radioactive decaying, how could it be dead and alive at the same time? It's not that it's dead and alive at the same time. It's that until we observe it, okay, it could be both dead and alive. And that's an analogy, Schrodinger's cat. It's not a literal, you're not going to put a cat in a box and it's going to be dead and alive at the same time. That's an analogy to explain how our reality works. So, us being animate beings, okay, because inanimate objects, they do play a role in collapsing the wave function of a particle when we set them up. But when we don't set them up, they don't play a role because the universe, we are literally the universe experiencing itself. So he's not only onto something, he's right about what he's saying. And the ME theories and the electromagnetic shifts and the poles, if that affects consciousness, maybe we are using more than 10% of our brains. Maybe we are tapping into something here. Maybe the pole shift is bringing in awareness. I don't know. I can only say that my thoughts on it is, yeah, anything's possible. And, maybe that is having to do with all these flaws and glitches in reality that we see. But I strongly believe that we live in a computer simulation, okay? Because think about it this way. Quantum mechanics proves that when you observe something, you collapse its wave function and bring it into being. Well, what happens in a video game or on a computer? The applications that you open on your computer, like Microsoft Word and all of the other applications, they exist, right? But until you click on it and observe them and drop them down, they're not on your computer screen. They exist in all probable states. And what I mean by that is they're open or closed. Until you observe it, you're interacting with your computer or your video game, right? Because when you're playing a video game, you know how you get to the end of the level? That end of the level is always there, right? But it can be different depending on how you play the game and how you observe it or whatever you do in the game. So you're playing a role in that. And life is like a video game. That's how you can liken it to a computer simulation. We are in a computer simulation. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it for me. So to me, biocentrism is just, it's a theory on that. You know, that's what I haven't had a chance to read into it, but that's what I think he's talking about. And if you look around you, like even the Mandela effect, I just think that proves more than anything else that we are living in a simulation, because the computer is catching up with itself. Maybe it's getting overloaded. You know, there's so many people, so much consciousness, there's so much data. Maybe it's getting overloaded and it's rewriting, and it's not rewriting as good as it once was, because it's near its capacity. So maybe that's what's going on with this Mandela effect. Maybe it's overwriting, okay, like erasing, like getting rid of junk, you know, clearing its cache. And what's happening is we're seeing glitches, some of us, because that is a you know, it's a glitch. The universe is a computer system, and it's designed to clean itself, maintain itself, and when it does that, you know, it can rewrite some things to save data, to clean itself. And why would it change simple things like these Mandela effects? That I can't explain, but what I can explain is this. More important than any Mandela effect you'll ever see, look into the computer universe theory, Vanessa. That's what he's talking about, you know, Dr. Lanza. He's talking about us being active observers in our reality. And there's the question that physicists pose, okay? If we weren't here, would the universe exist? No, it wouldn't. It would be a wave. Everything would be in a wave function. It would be a quantum fluctuation. So think about it this way. Whoever created this program, God, they created it us, okay, because we are important. Without us, the universe wouldn't exist. Without the universe, we wouldn't exist. That's the whole theory of one and all. Like one is a small piece of the whole, and then as above, so below. If you think about all these things, they all tie into the same thing. The universe was non-existent before us. So what did it do? It created us to observe itself, to experience itself. We are literally the universe manifesting to experience itself and live itself out. We're the universe discovering itself. That's all we are. I mean, you take a piece of inanimate matter, like a rock or a chair, it doesn't just get up one day and dance around and move. So that consciousness has to come from somewhere, and that consciousness is coming from somewhere, okay? I can't tell you exactly where. I have theories on it, more than one. I believe there is a superior being, and I believe that he may intervene. But you got to understand, we're not the only computer universe. There are countless numbers of these computer simulations. And maybe what happened is, in the one real universe that there is, or whatever it may be, they were, you know, having issues. So what they do, they created simulations to play things out, okay, to see how things would go. And they can take the data from these simulations and apply it to their one real reality or universe. Now, some may say, how do we know we're not the real universe? Here's the thing, okay? It's way more probable, all the years that the universe has been into existence, that we are a computer simulation, because within 100 years or so, we are going to be able to create on a computer, on a quantum computer, a civilization that of sentient beings, meaning that they have feelings and emotions and senses, and they feel like us, they feel like they're real. So if we can do that in 100 years, and our civilization has been around for a very, very small period of time, think about civilizations that have been around for thousands and thousands of millennia. And when you start to think about that, the probabilities go way down that we're the real universe. So it's not like we're not real in a sense. We're real, but our reality is not what the everyday person thinks it is. Okay, it's not. It's not composed of walls and you die and, that's it. And nothing is real. Everything is an illusion. Your five senses that you have, if you lost all of your senses, what would your reality be? Think about that, and think about that hard. Because if you lost all your senses, all of them, taste, touch, scent, hearing, and eyesight, what would your reality be? There would be no reality, okay? And that's the thing. Reality is an illusion because it can be taken away. Not just with death. You can lose your senses. You can lose all your senses. And when you start to think about things like that, the Mandela effect becomes mundane. I'm not saying that it's not important, okay? But it's a small part of something else much larger that's going on here. That's why I became so interested in the Mandela effect, and I couldn't wait to spread the word. And I'm not really studying this as much right now. I accepted it because I expected this. Because I've been thinking these things for a long time. And the reason I got so excited when I heard about the Mandela effect is because that literally is proof that we're living in a computer simulation. So my ideas are on such a higher level than the Mandela effect. See, the Mandela effect applies to people who are just discovering what our universe really is. That's the people that are so flabbergasted by it. They're like, I can't believe this. I can believe it, okay? I mean, at first it blew me away, not because it was going on, but because, whoa, this is, the things I've been thinking for so long are actually being proven right now. Now, there's been wisdom throughout the years in religions, okay? Jesus said if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. What do you think he meant by that? Do you think he meant that if you pray to God all day, that I can make this door close right here? This door? Just by looking at it? He didn't mean that. He's telling us, because he spoke in parables, because the knowledge that he held was so strong and powerful, you can't deliver it to the masses because we're not ready for it. We're babies on the evolutionary scale, on the spiritual scale. So he was telling us something, and what he was telling us is that if you believe, you can do anything you want. The smallest amount of real belief and real faith, and it's not just saying I believe and then you think you believe, it's wholeheartedly knowing, without any shadow of a doubt, whether there is proof or it lacks evidence of proof. It's knowing your truth. That's what he meant by that parable. And when you pray to God, you are becoming in touch not only with God but yourself, because you're using your energy. You have a universe within yourself, and you're using that to manifest what you want. So the point of this video, Vanessa, I made this video for you because I wasn't going to make a video, but I remembered you asked me to make this video. I hope I addressed some of your issues on there, but I want you to, you're on the right path, okay? Because biocentrism is probably the most accurate theory in physics right now. And I haven't even had a chance to read too much into it, but I read up on what it consists of, and I've actually had a couple of his books. I just haven't had an opportunity to read them. But keep going on the path that you're on, because the Mandela effect could be the government tricking us into being confused, like, whoa, what's going on? Look at these little things are happening, instead of realizing the real truth of what's really going on. They're the ultimate players of this game. They know the truth, and the universe is their game to play. We exist. We're pawns in the game. The enlightened ones, the ones of us that become enlightened, we can rise, okay? And one more thing I want to say before this video ends, okay, is this. The power of positivity, the reason I bring that up, and imaging is very crucial, because you got to think about it this way. When you observe something, not only are you collapsing its reality, but you're looking at things through a filtered lens. So you're actually creating your own reality through the way you want it to be. So start thinking the things you want and stop dwelling on the things that are negative and you don't want, and you'll be amazed at the things that happen in your life. Take it easy. I'll see you all in the next video.